As a quick disclaimer to all of you who may be watching this video and don't understand what a reaction is, I will be watching a video that someone else has put out. So without further ado, what's going on? It's your boy Apolxgy, and listen, the past 24 to 48 hours has been crazy. If you know, you know. But today I want to take a poll. If you were born in the 1990s, early 2000s, raise your hand. Damn, nigga, you old as fuck. Nah, I'm younger than you. Yeah. Anyways, the reason why I asked that question is because today we are going to be reacting to Extra Mint. Why did the 2000s look like that? This brought back some nostalgia just off the Xbox screen alone. So with that, let's get right into the video.
This is what the original Xbox looked like in 2001. It's a far cry from what we see today.
Hey, and also before we start, did you have an Xbox or a PS2 back in the day when you first started gaming? Because I know y'all had one of them. For me, I think I had the PS1 for a while, and then
with its almost otherworldly
Xbox
design. In fact, that's exactly what Microsoft intended. It was made to look alien, exciting, and powerful. If you fell asleep next to this screen, there was a good chance you'd wake up to the sounds of inhuman voices, and a wailing ambience that feels more at home in the depths of Subnautica. The PlayStation 2 also had a very unique feel to it, from the futuristic startup screen to the menu, with these floating objects representing.
I remember my first time seeing the memory card shit, bro, way back in the day. And I remember thinking that PlayStation looked so much better than Xbox, but Xbox looked more futuristic. You get what I'm saying? Like, PlayStation had more gadgets and like widgets and shit, but Xbox seemed more like advanced. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section.
Of course, it wasn't just consoles that used to look like
oh my god.
The term Y2K, more broadly, describes a range of unique, strange, and downright disturbing aesthetic styles from the early 2000s.
Bro.
A time when tech was still an unchained collection of zeros and ones that could fly around your house at light speed, but somehow couldn't run Crysis. Anyway, let's dive in.
The nostalgia that I got just off the intro alone is like insane.
Why is everything
Chrome?
Everything is chrome in the future.
Coming at a similar time to the obsession with making everything see-through, we'll get to that later, there was a trend of metallic silver technology and
my god, the DS! The Game Boy Advance. Oh, what? Bro, y'all remember like Kids Bop? Bro, that shit was insanely funny. GameCube, Lugia. Damn, that was an era for real.
You might remember this from things like the Nintendo DS, flip phones, and digital cameras. It was usually achieved with a curved chrome-plated plastic. A great example being this version of the PlayStation 3 controller, or even an earlier concept for it.
What the fuck?
However,
that
if you
shit
grew
looked
up
like a
around the
boomerang,
time,
nigga.
you probably recognize it more from music videos. People love to set them in these weirdly abstract and futuristic environments. Like
Fireflies was crazy for a good minute. My uncle, shout out to you if you're watching this, Uncle D, bro, he used to play that non-stop, bro. Bro, that was the song of the year for that year, bro. I don't know, that was crazy.
This is captured perfectly in Busta Rhymes and Janet Jackson's What's It Gonna Be from 1998, where everything down to their teeth is covered in this fluid chrome plating. Album covers got a similar treatment, with the same blue-tinted silver objects being prevalent in design. A lot of people refer to this trend in general as chromecore. The main distinction between this and aesthetics like cybercore is the use of less diverse color palettes and gradients. However, I believe the main reason for their popularity in the
this was a time when shit was so much simpler too. Where you just used to be able to wake up, you know, play on your Game Boy, go to school, eat your little chicken and rice or whatever at school, your little pizzas and shit with the little Capri Sun on the side and the Dunkaroos and shit, bro. What? And then you think about it now when shit changed so much, bro. I so wish I would have taken all of the advice that the older people gave me and like really just reveled in like what I was going through and like the early stages of my life, bro. Because looking back on this makes me feel like I want to go back. I wish I would have done more in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Although I was a kid. Still, like
the 2000s is pretty much identical.
Man.
With effects like this rapidly emerging and wowing audiences across the world, there was a deep fascination with rendering reflective 3D objects. So they were linked with actual advancements in technology at the time, but also allowed for the creation of these exciting interpretations of the future. For example, you'll notice a lot of images associated with Cybercore are just cool renders created through software like Bryce 3D. Interestingly, these designs weren't limited to technology and media. Architectural movements like blobism made use of these rounded chrome objects as well. Have a look at these seats from a New York jeans store in 1997, or this prediction of household appliances in 2020.
Bro, wait, how close are we to that though? Hold on.
Or this prediction of household...
How close are we to this though? Let's be real. You see a lot of penthouses with that same kind of window and the funky aesthetic couches and shit. That's not too far off. That's actually crazy. VR, like they got like a little VR kind of thing right here. Got like a weird looking desk. That's crazy.
In 2020.
Oh,
if you never had a controller like this, I'm sorry. Because another huge trend in the early 2000s was these translucent, colorful
I remember that. I had a green N64.
Of course,
a clear
this design
green
choice wasn't
N64.
necessarily anything new, having been around since the 80s and things like the Game Boy Advance. However, it was extremely popular.
God,
if you have $500 spare now, you can see it yourself in the original Halo Edition Xbox with its dark see-through green. The PlayStation 2 even had an ocean blue version that came equipped with a translucent controller. I remember loving tech like this, and the way you could look inside and pretend you knew what the hell any of the switches and wires were doing.
But
Other
you ain't know
prominent examples
nothing.
are the iMac G3s.
You're looking at
and
it like
the whole
what the
slogan of "Sorry, no beige." This of course refers to a series of advertisements put out with the iMacs in 1999 to accompany the 13 or so widely different coloured casings. Apple, like many others, used these sorts of colourful designs to distance themselves from the previous generations of technology and capitalise on the hype around futurism. Today, this transparent type of tech is more of a novelty, and I associate it more with lower quality hardware that's trying to appear more interesting than it actually is.
It used to be the hot.
That being said, I wouldn't be upset if Xbox started shipping consoles with controllers like these again.
How y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about the whole like the clear controllers? It just remind me of like bad keys back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's real tacky too, and it might be a little bit less like quality.
Naturally, this brings us to the aesthetics of gaming in the late 90s and early 2000s. Before the era of endless boxes and
Beautiful
panels,
Joe.
a lot of UIs would take on a more adventurous
Kirby.
and at times surreal form.
Halo 2,
I've already mentioned the obvious examples
MW2.
of Xbox and PlayStation 2, but you can look a bit closer at games themselves. Halo CE is a great example, with its chromes and blues, giving the menu a unique, futuristic feel. Hot Wheels Velocity on PlayStation 2 is another, drawing from a similar color palette and style
I
of text.
remember this.
These sorts of designs also translated into a number of different widgets for Windows devices, particularly the media player. I've seen the original one from Halo 2 pop up again, as well as this awesome Xbox theme for Windows XP. Something else I've noticed recently is a fascination with showcases in stores from the 2000s, especially those around the original Xbox and PlayStations. Take a look at this, the first and only example of an in-person, physical PlayStation store. Before closing in 2009, this shop was home to all of the latest games and consoles, with its curved...
There's still like a gaming shop like this in the area that I live in Raleigh. Bro, it's fire. It's not PlayStation, it's all old school games though. Yo, it's so fire. I think it's like Hidden Valley Games or something like that.
Another cool example is this Xbox booth at a 2001 Tokyo Game Show. I love the cases full of Xboxes and various controllers, all lit by an alien green glow. The booths of today are a bit different, opting for cleaner, glossier, and more minimal displays.
Corporate.
There are also a lot of advertisements that follow the same aesthetic principles. You'll note similarities across images like these, having almost psychedelic swirls, patterns, and gradients in the background, and chrome emblems and text. They were made to be edgy and attention-grabbing, much like the design of games and consoles themselves.
Oh man, Metal Heart.
Dubbed after a 2001 book of the same name, Metal Heart can be described as an edgier version of aesthetics like Cybercore. A lot of the widgets and designs I just mentioned fall under this category, featuring abstract, jagged, and metallic shapes. The images you'll see associated with it feel very mechanical and
The early 2000s was so edgy, bro. This shit was so edgy.
Reaching its peak popularity around 2001, a lot of later designs were likely influenced by the aesthetics in The Matrix, inspiring digital artists and communities like DeviantArt. Metal Heart would ultimately fall into obscurity long before the 2010s, and the emergence of aesthetics like Fruitiger Aero. The aesthetic called Gen X Soft Club is probably my favourite one in this video, and a style you likely didn't know had been given a name. It's essentially a softer representation of Y2K and 90s futurism, characterised by cool colour schemes, skylines, and blurred, distorted graphics. Looking at images like these, you'll probably notice some other common stylistic elements. A lot of them use a technique called the Lomo effect, a method of analog cross-processing that gives them their soft visuals. You can see it more in album covers like this, and even the cover art of games like Dead or Alive 2. Additionally, a lot of settings across the Mirror's Edge
Bloody
titles give off
Roar,
a
they
very
need to bring that
similar
shit
feel,
back.
especially when looking at office spaces and urban design, showing that the style is still somewhat inspirational today.
Fashion is so,
Now,
I can't wait.
It wouldn't be a Y2K video if I didn't touch on some of the fashion-related aesthetics.
Oh my god.
Today, when people use the term Y2K, they are often referring to a bunch of different clothing styles from the early 2000s, which have been divided up into a lot of different categories. I've touched on this in an earlier video, but one of the most prominent is McBling. This encompasses the trend of rhinestone-studded flip phones, hot pinks, silvers, and golds.
Bro, what was
basically
that shit
anything
called?
a brat stole?
Bedazzled. People used to bedazzle this shit all the time.
Common themes are animal print clothing, slogan t-shirts, and low-rise jeans. Today you'll spot it in TikTok hashtags or collages of various pinks and metallic items. Another distinct style is known as 2K1. A lot of this revolves around denim outfits and clothing that incorporates the American flag. Throwback jerseys are another common thread, alongside low-rise jeans, similar to McBling. It can also be seen in music videos, often associated with pieces like Can't Deny It from 2001.
Bro.
Nowadays, the term Y2K has become pretty ambiguous. It originally referred to a software problem known as the Y2K bug, which I'm sure you've heard more than enough about online. It's become more known now as simply a general name for a number of distinctly 2000s design aesthetics, which can be broken down into useful categories. In answering the question of why it looked the way it did, a lot of it can be boiled down to brands trying to capitalize on the excitement for the new millennium and the promises of technological advancements. People were more likely to buy into
Elon, they calling you out. They know they on to you, bro. The Simpsons, they coming for you, bro.
Console that felt alien and
Going for you, Elon.
or products with interesting shapes and a slick coating of chrome. Additionally, as digital art became more accessible and the software more powerful, the natural thing to do was to show it off with complex renders or textures in music videos. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today. Join the Discord through the link.
Listen, W Video Extra Mint. Go join their Discord and go watch the full video for yourself if you like. The link will be in the description. Listen, y'all let me know if you would go back to the early 2000s. Would you want to go back to the early 2000s? Because for me, that's when Yu-Gi-Oh was good. The games were good. You had so many variety in consoles. It wasn't just PlayStation and Xbox and then Switch on the side. You had like, you can play the GameCube, the Xbox, the PS2, like you can still play your Dreamcast, your N64. It was crazy. I loved it so much. I really wish I can go back. I feel like food was better back then too. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section though. Let me know if you would go back to the early 2000s, and if not, why? But if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for me. Leave a like. Also, follow me on Twitch tomorrow. I believe tomorrow, or maybe at the time of you viewing this, on March 5th, we will be doing a live stream on Twitch where you can come and react to videos with me on Twitch. If you want to come and join one of the next videos, we'll be reacting to Meat Canyon and tomorrow's teachings. So if you want to come and give your suggestions, follow me down in the link down below for my Twitch, and come join the Discord as well. But until next time, that's all I have to say. So y'all stay safe. I miss y'all. I love y'all, and I'm out. Peace.